PFF is running one of their biggest sales ever. 40% off a PFF Plus subscription right now using the promo code BLACKFRIDAY. That means that you get everything fully unlocked. You get the grades, you get the stats, you get all the fantasy advice, the betting advice, which our new player prop tool is available on web as well to make you a smarter, better. You've got all of the draft analysis, the free agency analysis, all of that great stuff. Subscribe.pff.com to get 40% off a year-long PFF Plus subscription. Get it now. Giants and the Lions. That's the next game that we're getting to here. Detroit wins this one 34-27. An absolute thriller up in Detroit. Lions top 5 graded players. Wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown with a 91.8. Running back Jahmyr Gibbs, a 91.4. Offensive tackle Penei Sewell, an 87.1. Linebacker Jack Campbell, an 81.1. And defensive tackle Aleem McNeil with a 75.3. Jared Goff in this game, a 75.8 overall grade. On the Giants side of things, Dexter Lawrence at the top of the list, but not with a number that you often see from guys who are at the top of the list, just a 77.7. Wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson had an incredible day. 75.7 overall grade there for him. Tight end Theo Johnson, a 75.3. Quarterback Andrew Phillips with a 73.9. Running back Devin Singletary, a 72.9. And then quarterback Jameis Winston with an 86.3. I'll start there because I think that's my most impressive. So I just want to start with Jameis here. It's kind of like what I was saying over the last couple of weeks. It's what I was saying when Russell Wilson was starting at the beginning of the season. Russell Wilson did not give this team a legitimate chance to win. He did not want to attempt the throws that you need to attempt to win in the NFL. He did when he was in Seattle. Like prime Russell Wilson days, he was much more willing to throw the deep ball, hold on to it a little bit longer. He at this point in time, from what we've seen from him, he's not willing to do that. He is so focused on not putting the ball in harm's way that he is instead not allowing himself to attempt the throws that you have to not only attempt but hit in this league to win. Jameis doesn't care. Jameis, at this point in his career, he goes out there and he is playing with house money every single time that he is a starter. Because he goes, it's just almost if he's saying, I've already had my NFL career. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to go out and just play free and not really think about it.
He's always been like that anyway. You can go all the way back to Florida State, and he's always been like that.
That's true, but covering him in Tampa, like there was at least a little bit where he was trying to like rein it in a little bit. But of course, we had like the flamethrower days every now and then because that's just who he is in his identity. But I believe it was last week because he got his first start last week. I'm remembering that correctly, right? He throws 3 turnover-worthy plays. No big-time throws, 3 turnover-worthy plays. So you go like, all right, well, that's the Jameis Winston experience. You're not going to be able to win with it. But then you have a situation where you're on the road, gets one of the best teams in the NFL in Detroit, and this guy gives you a chance to win because he threw 5 big-time throws in this game. He had 2 turnover-worthy plays, 18 for 36. It's obviously not great when it comes to a throw-by-throw completion percentage, but 366 yards and the 5 big-time throws, I mean, that gives you a chance. They almost went into Detroit and won. The only reason why they didn't is because the run defense is so bad this season that I know you'll get to that in a second. But that was my most impressive here is that with Jackson Dart being hurt, if you're serious about trying to win football games, he very clearly gives you the best chance.
Yeah.
And he might give you the best chance even with Jackson Dart, with the way that the team currently is constructed. I think some weeks that would be true. Other weeks it wouldn't be. I understand that. But in this type of a situation where I don't remember what the line was for this game, but I would assume that they would have been...
I think it was 13 or 14.
I was going to say they're double-digit point dogs in this one. You throw Jameis out there, Jameis is probably the best double-digit dog quarterback that exists in this league.
He's probably also the best backup quarterback in the league.
Well, when you want to win
by a pretty
games
good margin. Yeah.
like this,
yeah,
where you are a heavy underdog and you need somebody to just let it fly. So he was my most impressive in this game.
No, I get it, absolutely. He certainly played well, and it's just, like you mentioned, the Giants' defense. How about this? Giving up 5.8 yards before contact per carry in this game. Before contact, Trevor, not total. That is easily the most of any team in any game this season that the Lions got in this one. No other game that a team has had at least 5 yards before contact per carry, and only 2 others where they had at least 4. I mean, it was just basically the cleanest, easiest day Jahmyr Gibbs could have had on the ground, especially with some of those explosive runs he was getting late in the game that turned out to be the difference in the game. 79.7 run blocking grade for the Lions, their 3rd best of the season. I mean, we talked about what a big mismatch this Giants run defense is that has been struggling for the entire season, which is shocking to me, especially with the defensive line talent that they do have. But the Giants' run defense has been awful this year. And when the Lions look they're the easiest team in football to analyze. We certainly watched this game from front to back. I wouldn't even have to. If you were to ask me, well, did the Lions win or lose? And I would go, did they run the ball well? And that's what they did. Now 7-0 when they run for at least 100 yards, and they blazed well past that. Obviously, Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown had to make a handful of plays. Aiden Hutchinson with the closeout sack. But at the end of the day, once again, if the Lions run the ball, and they ran the hell out of the ball in this game against this Giants run defense, they're going to win the ball game.
That, I know Giants fans won't agree with me here, but that sack from Aiden to end the game was awesome. Like, it's great having, like, your closer be the one to close.
The guy you were missing last year.
Right.
And plus
that's why I'm saying, like,
Aleem McNeil having a really
cool.
good game, too, getting in that top 5 there. Ever since McNeil's gotten back, they've only gotten more dangerous.
Wan'Dale Robinson was fantastic in this game. And we just did the fixture franchise for the Giants on NFL Stock Exchange, and Wan'Dale's a free agent, and I just kind of was like, all right, well, they're probably not going to bring him back, right, because they already have Malik Neighbors. And I think the problem is you've already signed Darius Slayton. He basically has to be on the team next year. You can't really move him at all whatsoever. Nobody's going to take on his contract, and you can't really cut him. So in my mind, I was like, Wan'Dale's been good for you at times when you've had good quarterback play, but you're probably not going to take his second contract here on the books. You're probably just going to let him walk. But if he keeps playing like this, maybe you aren't going to let him walk. I don't know. He had a fantastic game. Jahmyr Gibbs was unbelievable in this game as well. 14.6 yards per carry average. I'm going to say that one more time, Dalton. 14.6 yards per carry average.
That'll do.
Not bad.
And again, almost 6 of those.
That's some high school stuff.
Averaging almost 6 of those yards before he was even touched.
That's some high school stats.
Yeah.
14.6.
264 scrimmage yards. Like
Absolutely.
his second game recently, he's been in that
15
territory.
carries, 219 yards.
Yeah, that'll do.
Wild. Amik Robertson was tough in this game. He was lined up against Wan'Dale Robinson in a lot of them. So he just gave up 8 receptions, 5 first downs allowed, almost actually right at 100 yards allowed in this game. So it was a tough one for Amik Robertson, but I like Amik Robertson. So it was one of those where, like, if I got to pick a most disappointing, it's probably him. But honestly, it's him because I have watched him play better. So I think that he can. If he matched up against Wan'Dale Robinson again, I think this matchup would be a little bit closer.
Don't forget on the plus side there for the Lions, we talk about them a lot running the ball, but they got one of the best wide receivers in football too. Amon-Ra St. Brown. When they needed a clutch play to be made, especially on third down.
You think I forgot about Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Sometimes I just got to remind you. We watch a lot of football, Trevor.
That's
you
true.
know, I know Saturdays you're sitting there stuck on watching the Gators and that struggle down there.
No, I don't watch.
So I don't know how much of that you're trying to flush out of there. Didn't even bother this week.
No.
Well, anyway.
No, I'm trying to have a good weekend.
St. Brown, pretty good in this game. 9 catches, 149 yards. How about 5 explosive plays? I mean, he's Mr. Reliable, right? Anytime you need a big third down catch, you're going to go to number 14. So you want your best players to be your best players, especially in close games like this. We've listed just about all of them for the Lions, right? Sewell, Gibbs, St. Brown, Hutchinson, McNeil, Jack Campbell was on there. Jared Goff was solid in this game. All of their best players played their best when they needed to. Lions come out with a probably harder than expected win, but that's the world of Jameis Winston we live in.
Ooh, last one on this game. Dan was saying that I forgot about this, of the Hutchinson sack. He said it was a hip drop tackle. I actually agreed when we were watching that live.
Yeah, I think you did mention that. Yeah.
I'm like,
have we seen them call it yet?
No, but that's
have we seen them call it a single time yet?
But that's my point. Is like, I don't think it gets more. At least if I'm thinking of the correct play, which was the last play, it doesn't really get more hip droppy than that. I mean, he grabs Jameis and he flings his hips around and drops his weight on his hips to bring Jameis down. Like, that's kind of a textbook hip drop tackle, and they didn't call it. And I thought it was very plain and easy to see, and it was at a very, very important moment of the game. So I don't know if they're calling this.
They're not calling it. There was one, I forget which other game it was. There was another one in a different game this week.
If I'm remembering that play correctly, I don't think they're going to call hip drops this year.
No, they're not. There was one in a different game this week, I believe. There was maybe on a receiver. I forget which game it was, but it was pretty clear that was a hip drop as well, and they're just not going to call it. It's not a thing, Trev. They put it on paper to appease everybody, but they're not. I have yet to see a single time where that's been called.
I guess not.